मुझे खुशी है इस बात की कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने पहले ही उन्हें अपने घर भेज दिया। अब मुझे लगता है कि गोरखपुर में ही उन्हें रहना पड़ेगा। अब गोरखपुर से वापस आने की उन्हें जरूरत नहीं है।
एक बात तो सामने आ गई है कि समाजवादी पार्टी आज बैकफुट पर आ चुकी है।
Good evening. You're watching News Epicenter with me, Marya Shakil. Mainpuri, not Azamgarh, will see Samajwadi Party chief Akalis Yadav contest his first assembly election. This comes a day after Akalis himself fanned the speculation that he could contest the upcoming polls from Gopalpur in his Lok Sabha constituency of Azamgarh. So this constituency is called Karhal. Karhal is considered a Samajwadi Party stronghold and has been with the Samajwadi Party for last many terms. Father of Akhilesh and SP patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav is the current MP from Mainpuri. Mainpuri Lok Sabha constituency was among the 5 seats won by the Samajwadi Party in the Modi wave, sweeping UP with 71 seats in 2014, and then that wave swept UP again in 2019 Lok Sabha polls. The Karhal assembly seat will go for voting on 20th February in the third phase, while the nomination for this will start from 25th of January. Akhilesh has returned to the Yadav family stronghold, a safe seat for the upcoming polls, and BJP, as expected, has mocked the decision, saying the candidature shows Akhilesh isn't confident of stepping out of his comfort zone. Akhilesh's decision of entering the poll fray comes after Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath dared his rivals to face the public by contesting elections. In fact, the UP BJP Twitter handle had said, "What about Akhilesh Yadav? Also Mayawati and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, all of them should announce where they will be contesting from." The BJP has fielded Yogi Adityanath from his bastion of Gorakhpur and announced his candidacy in the very first list. Gorakhpur urban goes to polls in the 6th phase of these 7 phases in UP. And when the announcement was made then, Akhilesh had reacted very sharply by saying that BJP has decided to send Yogi home by fielding him from Gorakhpur, a constituency that Yogi Adityanath has represented 5 times, in fact 5 terms I would say, since 1998. And since 1989, the BJP has lost Gorakhpur just once, that was in 2002. Meanwhile, after being snubbed by Akhilesh and seat sharing not going through, Bhim Army Chief Chandrasekhar Azad announced that he will be contesting the upcoming polls against Yogi Adityanath from Gorakhpur urban. And the Congress today also faced embarrassment when their poster girl of the slogan "Ladki hoon, lad sakti hoon," Priyanka Maurya, joined the BJP, accusing the Congress leadership and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra in particular of doing dhoka with her. So on News Epicenter this evening, as I explain what all has happened in UP, I'm going to focus on one question. Why have stalwarts chosen their pocket borough for the fight? Joining me on the show, Neerja Chaudhary, journalist, political analyst, Sanjay Kumar, Professor CSDS, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Satish Prakash, leader of the BSP, Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari. Akhilesh Yadav mocked Yogi Adityanath when he and the BJP decided that he should fight from Gorakhpur. Aapki bhi ghar wapsi ho gayi aaj?
Viewers, I think Akhilesh Yadav ji, our national president, has clearly communicated.
Neerja Chaudhary, journalist, political analyst. Okay, there seems to be... You'll have to fix your audio. Ghanshyam. Okay, I'll get that fixed. But in the meanwhile, let me go to Neerja. Neerja, why do you think both Akhilesh Yadav and Yogi Adityanath have gone back home in a way, because they have chosen safe seats?
I think, yes, they're both playing it safe. Akhilesh Yadav gone back to the Yadav land, which is the fiefdom of the Mulayam Singh Yadav family. And Yogi Adityanath back to Gorakhpur, again a very safe seat. They were talking about Ayodhya, they were talking about Azamgarh for Akhilesh. This only goes to show that this is going to be a takkar. 2022 UP is becoming a real takkar, a real contest. And neither side wants to take a risk. And it's also very interesting that they are fighting the MLA elections. Both Akhilesh Yadav and Yogi Adityanath have been MPs.
Yes.
And Akhilesh was in the council, was an MLC in 2012.
Yes.
So was Yogi Adityanath in 2017. So this is very interesting. Having had long stints as MPs, they are now going back to the state in a real way, fighting a popular election.
Yes. And interestingly, Sanjay Kumar, as we have been discussing that the battle of UP perhaps will get settled in eastern UP because of the number of seats also in eastern UP, we are seeing Akhilesh Yadav choose a constituency which is Mainpuri, comes in the Mainpuri Lok Sabha constituency, Karhal, and this constituency goes to polls in the third phase, while Azamgarh, which was being speculated, would have gone to polls in the seventh phase. So is it also sending a message that they would not want to be associated with a constituency which has developed that image of Muslim hardliners?
Absolutely, Maria. I think this is very strategic. They didn't want to select a constituency for Akhilesh Yadav, or say Akhilesh Yadav didn't want to contest from a seat which was dominated by Muslim voters or sizable number of Muslim voters, because then it would BJP would have got an instrument. They would have kept saying that, look, Akhilesh Yadav is contesting and trying to win elections only on the vote of the support of the Muslims. So contesting from Mainpuri, he is going to save himself from, because this is not a constituency where we have sizable number of Muslim population. So he is going to win election. If most likely is going to win election from this constituency, not based on the support of the Muslims, but based on the support of the Hindu majority vote. So I think it would be easier for Samajwadi Party not to just keep saving the image that this is the party which only cares for the Muslims. So that is why I think this is a clear this is a choice of seat by Akhilesh Yadav, not deciding to contest from Azamgarh and picking up a seat in Mainpuri.
Okay, so it's also about, is it also about sending a message on the OBC constituency? Because as elections move towards eastern part, that OBC constituency becomes the focal point, and this particular constituency also has a huge percentage of course, the Yadav vote, which is considered to be the traditional voter of Samajwadi Party. Sanjay Kumar.
No, certainly there's several messages which are being sent out from by Akhilesh Yadav from contesting Mainpuri. First, as you have mentioned, the election will be over in this constituency in the third phase, so he will have all the time to campaign for the party for the remaining phases. He has indicated that yesterday in one of the press conference, and he said, मैं भी चुनाव लड़ने का मूड बना रहा हूं, और जब चुनाव लड़ूंगा तो आदित्यनाथ के पहले ही चुनाव लड़ूंगा. So I was just hoping that maybe he will not contest from Azamgarh, because Azamgarh goes to the poll in the seventh phase. Also because this is the region where there are sizable number of OBC voters, while OBC voters are spread all over the UP, but also it will help in consolidation of the OBC support in favor of Samajwadi Party. So there are a couple of advantages which Samajwadi Party is looking forward to by fielding Akhilesh Yadav from Mainpuri.
Okay, Ghanshyam Tiwari, the question that I'd asked you, let me ask that question again. शायद आप लोग जल्दी बोल गए, यहाँ पर तो अखिलेश यादव की भी घर वापसी हो रही है.
Well, good evening, Maria, to you, the viewers and my fellow co-panelists. 2 or 3 things stand. One is, I think I want to immediately debunk this idea that seeking votes from any constituency or any community is creating a different image. I think this 80-20 narrative of Adityanath is a primary hate speech, and we cannot, in our analysis, normalize that it is not, it is all right to not communicate that you don't get votes of any community, be it Muslims or Hindus. This is the way BJP wants India to think of our democracy. But it is a matter of pride that a party gets 100% of votes and seeks 100% of votes. That's first and foremost. As far as the election is concerned, I think the constituency is very well placed, and as a result, once the proposal came from the Karhal Vidhan Sabha, it was obvious that both as a election that is going to happen in third phase, in a stronghold that is SP, in a Karm Bhumi of Netaji, we would give the message clearly that if Adityanath and Keshav Prasad Maurya are contesting, we are up for a contest. This is an election that we are winning. So we will not give them any space.
He is a former chief minister. He could have picked any of the 403 constituencies. The fact that he is going to Mainpuri, a constituency from where his father is a member of parliament, is also sending a message that this is a safe constituency. आपने यही चार्ज लगाया था अखिलेश यादव और भाजपा के अगेंस्ट में कि वो लोग अपने कंफर्ट जोन के बाहर नहीं निकल रहे. आप लोग भी कंफर्ट जोन में हैं.
नहीं, हमने ये चार्ज लगाया था कि आदित्यनाथ जी जो कभी मथुरा, कभी अयोध्या, वो जाकर के अपनी पार्टी से ही अपने लिए टिकट मांग रहे हैं. यहाँ पे तो अखिलेश जी को स्वयं निर्णय करना था, लेकिन आदित्यनाथ जी को उन्हीं की पार्टी ने, जो अब ये नहीं कहती कि अब की बार योगी सरकार, जो उनके 4.5 साल के गवर्नेंस पे चुनाव नहीं लड़ रही है, जो हिंदू मुस्लिम एजेंडा पे चुनाव लड़ना चाहती है, उनकी पार्टी ने उनको दर-दर भटकने के लिए मजबूर किया. हमने तो उनका गोरखपुर का पहले ही टिकट कटा दिया था, उनकी पार्टी ने बाद में कटाया. तो हमने ये चार्ज लगाया था.
मेरी सबको राम राम. और मैंने क्या बोला चाहिए, समाजवादी पार्टी के नेता प्रवक्ता आजकल बड़ी बहकी बात करे. हमने गोरखपुर का टिकट उनको पहले ही कटा दिया था. पता नहीं कौन से टिकट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. हम तो लगातार जो है यहाँ पे एयरपोर्ट्स बना रहे हैं, और जो एक सपना था नरेंद्र मोदी जी का कि हवाई चप्पल से हवाई जहाज तक का, वो सपने को पूरा करने में लगे हुए हैं. परंतु ये लोग जो हैं अभी तक ट्रेन, बस, साइकिल उसी के ऊपर अटके हुए हैं. जो साइकिल पे चलते हैं उनकी सोच वहीं तक रहेगी, पर 22 में तो ट्राइसाइकिल पर बैठकर जो बबुआ, जो अपने पापा जहां इनके जीत कर आए ना लोकसभा मैनपुरी से, वहीं की कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी लेके करहल से लेकर चुनाव लड़ेंगे, तो ये जो बबुआ है ना, ये ट्राइसाइकिल पे बैठकर रोते हुए दिखाई देंगे. योगी आदित्यनाथ जी के बारे में तो आप सोचो भी मत. योगी जी ने ये नहीं कहा था कि मैं चुनाव नहीं लड़ूंगा. योगी जी ने अखिलेश जी की तरह ये नहीं कहा था कि पार्टी डिसाइड करेगी. योगी जी ने ये नहीं कहा कि आजमगढ़ के लोग, यानी कि उन्होंने ये नहीं कहा कि गोरखपुर के लोग डिसाइड करेंगे, पर अखिलेश यादव जी ने आजमगढ़ के लोगों को एक मौका दिया, एक अपॉर्चुनिटी दी कि आप लोग बताइए मैं चुनाव कहां से लड़ूं. तो आजमगढ़ के लोगों ने कहा मायरा कि यहाँ से रफा दफा हो जाइए, तुरंत यहाँ से जाइए. आप
so you are saying that people of Azamgarh told Akhilesh not to contest, and that is the reason why he went to Mainpuri.
Yes, Akhilesh Yadav ji said that people of Azamgarh they are going to
Ghanshyam, in 24 hours a survey was conducted, and that was the result which only perhaps the BJP knows.
No, like Bharatiya Janata Party didn't say. Akhilesh ji said that people of Azamgarh they are going to tell me from where I have to contest. So people of Azamgarh told him that please go away from here, you are not required.
Almost all day BJP makes non-serious arguments in this election because they don't have an agenda. We are in this election every day. We are setting the agenda of this election. We promised 300 units of free bijli. We promised pensions. We promised that the pension scheme that got abolished in 2005 for the Sarkari Karmchari, we will bring it back.
What has BJP done? No answer. As Akhilesh Yadav entering the fray is concerned, that agenda was set by the BJP. Give it to the BJP that they dared you, and you also perhaps took the bait.
They dared Adityanath first, let alone us. Did anybody ask where Adityanath? It was the so-called people in media, as those who are closer to BJP, who are often act as unappointed general secretaries of Bharatiya Janata Party. They started breaking news कि आदित्यनाथ अयोध्या से लड़ेंगे, उससे ये हो जाएगा, गोरखपुर इतना दूर है, नोएडा इतना दूर है, लखनऊ इतना दूर है. This is the commentary that came in the media. Who promoted that commentary?
Okay.
It is same Anila Singh ji who was participating in that commentary because she did not know. We did not do any kind of speculation. We said that we will contest when the party decides, and it is clear. Okay. We are not engaging in the commentary because I think the agenda of the election is far more important from the fact where Akhilesh Yadav ji is contesting from.
Okay. Satish Prakash, what about Mayawati?
देखिए यही एक सवाल रहता है, और ये सवाल कहीं ना कहीं पिछले 6 महीने से घूमता रहता है. मुझे आप ये बताइए कि अगर बहुजन समाज पार्टी उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर कहीं चुनावी नहीं रखती तो माननीय योगी जी को अयोध्या छोड़ करके, क्योंकि बीजेपी ये चाहती थी कि योगी जी कहीं ना कहीं आस्था के मुद्दे पर, राम के मुद्दे पर अयोध्या से चुनाव लड़े, लेकिन अंतिम क्षणों में अगर योगी जी अयोध्या छोड़ करके भाग रहे हैं जो उनकी सुरक्षित सीट है, और आज तो अखिलेश जी भी कहीं ना कहीं करहल जो है वो सपा की एक बहुत परंपरागत सीट रही है, उसकी तरफ जा रही है। देखिए ये बहुजन समाज पार्टी का एक गणित है। आप मुझको मान लीजिए ये सवाल हमसे बार बार पूछ करके कहीं ना कहीं बहुजन समाज पार्टी की जो पॉलिटिकल पावर है उसको कम किया जा रहा है।
नहीं,
उत्तर प्रदेश
सतीश प्रकाश जी, सवाल ये उठता है कि दो मुख्यमंत्री, एक फॉर्मर चीफ मिनिस्टर और एक करंट चीफ मिनिस्टर, उन्होंने बोल दिया है कि वो चुनाव लड़ेंगे। अगर ये 2 हॉर्स रेस दिख रहा है तो आप लोग तो पहले ही रेस से एग्जिट कर रहे हैं अगर मायावती चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगी तो।
नहीं, देखिए बहन जी 4 बार मुख्यमंत्री रह चुकी और उत्तर प्रदेश में चुनाव लड़ करके ये सिद्ध नहीं किया जा सकता ना। आप कैसी बात कर रहे हो? ये किसने कहा? आप मुझे बताइए ना। देखिए एक बात बताइए कि जो बीजेपी की भाषा हो रही है, हम बीजेपी को फॉलो अप नहीं करेंगे। देखिए हम किसी भी सूरत में बीजेपी के पॉलिटिकल ट्रैप में नहीं फंसेगी बहुजन समाज पार्टी इस देश में।
What about Akhilesh Yadav? You feel that Akhilesh Yadav has landed in a trap of the BJP, led by the BJP?
100%। अगर आप जिन्ना की बात करोगे, आप कोरोना वैक्सीन नहीं लगाओगे, आप तालिबान को डिफाइन करोगे, आप कभी आजमगढ़ की बात करते हो, कभी आप तालिबान की बात करते हो, ये गलत है ना तरीका। देखिए सुनिए, देखिए मायरा जी सुनिए, चुनाव हमेशा आएंगे, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं हमने ये कहा था एक
चुनाव तो हमेशा आएंगे, हर 5 साल पे आएंगे, लेकिन सवाल ये है कि मायावती है कहाँ? चुनाव में तो दिख नहीं रही। अनिला सिंह, Mayawati is not contesting is the message coming from a spokesperson. But why should she contest?
I think she has become vegetable in political life. She is not giving any reaction. She is not showing any life. She's simply, she's comatose, I can say. And upon that, what I hear from Satish Kumar ji, कि योगी, he didn't say योगी, आदित्यनाथ जो भाग गए गोरखपुर, तो मैं केवल इतना कहना चाहूंगी सतीश जी, कुछ तो आप सम्मान रखिए अपने। आप सुनिए, आप मेरी बात भी तो सुनिए ना, ऐसा थोड़ी हो जाएगा। अरे ऐसे क्या हो जाएगा? नहीं, आप मुझे सुनिए, अनिला जी सुनिए, talk about the policies, मेरी बात को कंप्लीट नहीं होने दो। मेरा कहना ये है कि I am not here to listen your nonsense here. Okay, do not get personal. आपको जो बात करनी है आप आइडियोलॉजी पे बात करिए। आपके नेता नहीं चुनाव लड़ रही है, आपके नेता को राजनीति से कोई मतलब नहीं है, तो आप जानिए। अब ऐसा है ना, सुनिए, अरे योगी भी तय करेंगे क्या? मोदी भी तय करेंगे? इस देश का दलित क्या खाएगा, क्या पिएगा, ये ऑप्शन आप थोड़ी तय करोगे, ये तो हम तय करेंगे। अरे पॉलिटिक्स बाहर नहीं निकलना चाहती, सर्दियां है तो हीटर में बैठी हुई है, गर्मी है तो एसी में बैठी हुई है, क्यों नहीं राजनीति कर रही है? किस बात का डर है?
लेकिन सतीश जी ये जो सवाल है ये तो पूछा जाएगा कि जो यूपी में मल्टीपल प्लेयर्स हुआ करते थे, मायावती का एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी इंटैक्ट रहता था 20 से 25% वाला, वो मायावती हैं कहां आज के चुनाव में? जब अखिलेश यादव बोल रहे हैं कि वो मैनपुरी से चुनाव लड़ेंगे, योगी आदित्यनाथ बोल रहे हैं हम गोरखपुर से चुनाव लड़ेंगे, तो आपका क्या है? मायावती कहां है? वो कहां से चुनाव लड़ेंगी?
देखिए बहुजन समाज पार्टी उत्तर प्रदेश की एक बड़ी पॉलिटिकल पावर है। कहीं ना कहीं एक गलत तरीके से एक नैरेटिव क्रिएट किया जा रहा है। आप मेरी बात मान लीजिए, ये कहीं ना कहीं बीजेपी अब से 6 महीने जी
पावर थी। आज की डेट में सारे एनालिस्ट से पूछिए, संजय कुमार, isn't it a 2 horse race? Questions will be asked, where is Mayawati?
Marya, there is no doubt that this is a 2 horse race. BJP on one hand and Samajwadi Party with its allies on the other hand. BSP has no stake in this election. Congress is at number 4. So I don't think there is any issue to discuss about where is BSP, what is the status of BSP in this election, is BSP in a contest or not. I think it's kind of a waste of time discussing BSP for these elections. BSP in a sense, whether BSP is in a contest or not. It is not in the contest, clearly.
Okay. So Sanjay Kumar has settled that debate that you're not in contest here, Satish Prakash. Ghanshyam, a quick response from you now.
Well, the agenda is set, and it is a unique election where there are 2 parallel agenda running. One is the agenda of hate that BJP is promising in its 80-20 hate speech led by Adityanath.
What about 85-15? Isn't that also an attempt at polarization?
It is not, because 80-20 was said by a chief minister, elected chief minister. When has an elected chief minister said that it is 80 versus 20, and then created a atmosphere which in the past has seen lynchings, in the past has seen terrorizing of Muslim communities. BJP thinks that they are stronger just because they can terrorize the community. As far as SP is concerned, we've always believed in the agenda and vision of of Lohia ji and the power of social justice movement. It is the same thing that the cabinet ministers who are leaving Bharatiya Janata Party, who are saying that BJP has practiced Thakurwad and they have marginalized the backward caste. And that is our pitch in the entire election. As far as the election itself is concerned, I think that the agenda of the election is set around the idea of employment, price rise, the injustice to the farmers. That is what is giving us strength, not the way the BJP is deciding which constituencies anyone is contesting.
Okay. Neerja Chaudhary and Sanjay Kumar will get the final word. Neerja, I'm coming to you. The fact that this election is becoming like a pot boiler, certainly, with the entry of the Chief Minister and the former Chief Minister. Would you have expected more VVIPs to come into the fray, perhaps even a Mayawati or Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, as the BJP has dared them to?
I think Mayawati not contesting is a surprise. Priyanka Vadra I don't think was expected to contest, or she is the General Secretary in charge. But certainly, I would say it has become an election Akhilesh Yadav versus Yogi Adityanath. It's no longer Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi, Akhilesh versus Narendra Modi. It is a local UP election, which is very interesting. And since Akhilesh Yadav has emerged as the main challenger to Yogi Adityanath, it makes sense for him to actually contest the election and lead from the front. And of course, this election really is also about Yogi Adityanath, the kind of future political trajectory that he is going to have. If he does very well, he will be a claimant for the Delhi Gaddi sometime in the future. If he does not do well, the party just scrapes through, then he will not be seen in that light at all. So the stakes are very high for Yogi Adityanath, as also for Akhilesh Yadav.
Okay, Sanjay Kumar, with these two players, the main players entering the fray, the assessment could be that this has become a localized election from what it was being seen, say, even a month ago when the Prime Minister was inaugurating projects and projecting himself, certainly, and the BJP was projecting him as Yogi Modi versus Akhilesh Yadav, or Yogi Modi versus Samajwadi Party.
Yes, Maria, I do believe that now when Akhilesh Yadav is contesting assembly election for the first time, and also Yogi Adityanath is contesting elections, and both are the claimants for the post of the Chief Minister, and the contest in UP is only between these two parties. So I think the elections will become more focused on the local issues, on the state. I'm not saying that Prime Minister Modi is not going to campaign. He will definitely campaign. But finally, I think the tutu mame or the contest is going to be directly between Yogi Adityanath and Akhilesh Yadav.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Sanjay Kumar, Neerja Chaudhary, Ghanshyam Tiwari, Satish Prakash and Anila Singh. With that announcement that has come from the Samajwadi Party, it has become very clearly a localized UP election where a Chief Minister and a former Chief Minister are fighting it out in a two-horse race. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.